You're right, fuckers and fuckettes. This ain't foremost to y'all. This is just an idea for the hacktivist group that calls themselves anonymous. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm not saying that there's a snowball's chance in hell that you could ever get a prosecuting attorney to go along with it, or governor, or anybody else. But we've all had our routers compromised. We've all seen customers where, you go down there, it's an FFL, and fuck, they've got a virus on there that was originally intended for a to take down water and power plants. It was written by the NSA. There's several mutations of that one floating around in the wild. Granted, that was probably an unintended consequence of their actions back when they wrote it in the 90s. But still out there, still phoning home to the same fucking place. And that is a major modification, because it used to be just waiting for a signal. At least that was my understanding of it. Now it's phoning home. But states like Florida, we've got I'm just going to give you the statute, which it's out of the 2012 Florida statutes, Title 46, Chapter 815, Computer-Related Crimes. Skip on down to offenses against computer users. And if you read carefully, now, granted, this was designed to keep hackers out of shit, but they failed to make an exemption in here for the NSA or the feds. See, now the NSA or the feds could do this, but that would require an actual individual person warrant. Guess what? They don't have that. What they seem to have is a blanket John Doe warrant, which we know is invalid in the state of Florida. And we also know the chances of getting Governor Scott to do anything about them is probably slim to none, because like any other state or any other governor, I mean, they're finally starting to stand up and exercise the state's 10th Amendment rights in regards to Obamacare and stuff like this, but in regards to the NSA, they just seem to be allowing it. They seem to be complicit in the activities. In states like Washington State or Utah, or even Maryland, I can understand why. I mean, federal government's pumping all kind of money into them communities. And you guys are a lot better at this shit than I am, as far as tracking where something really comes from. I mean, yeah, granted, I can track somebody through a couple of proxies, maybe. Or if I know their MAC, I can find them regardless of their hardware MAC, not the programmable one. I can find them anyway. But you guys are a lot better at narrowing it down to an individual building. If you can narrow it down to a building, you can get everybody in there charged as an accessory or the perpetrator. If you can narrow it down to an individual machine, here's the catch: everything has to be done 100% legally. Even if you just catch an upstream router that's open enough to where you can watch the traffic and narrow it down to a specific building, or God, it would be so nice to get a specific desk, but then the chances of getting it down into a specific desk and then finding out who that machine is assigned to and then getting a warrant off of that are slim to none. Canada, they've got theft of bandwidth laws, but I'm going to read you 815.06 out of Title 46 here. Offenses against computer users. This is pretty long. 1. Whoever willfully, knowingly, and without authorization accesses or causes to be accessed any computer system, or computer network. B. Disrupts or denies or causes the denial of computer system services to an authorized user of such computer system services which in whole or in part is owned by or under contract to or operated for or on behalf of or in conjunction with another. C. Destroys, takes, injures, or damages equipment or supplies used or intended to be used in a computer computer system, or computer network. D, destroys, injures, or damages any computer system, or computer network. Or E, introduces any computer contaminant into any computer system, or computer network, commits an offense against computer users. 2A, except as provided in paragraphs B and C, whoever violates subsection 1 commits a felony of the 3rd degree, punishable as provided in section 775. It's a fucking 3rd degree felony. We'll skip down to B here. Whoever violates section 1 and 1 damages a computer equipment, computer supplies, a computer system, or a computer network, and the monetary damage or loss incurred as a result of the violation is $5,000 or greater. 2, commits the offenses for the purposes of devising or executing any scheme or article to defraud or obtain property. Or 3, interrupts or impairs a governmental operation, public communication, transportation, or supply of water, gas, or other public service, commits a felony of the 2nd degree. Stop it at 2nd degree felony, move down to C. Whoever violates section 1 and whoever violates subsection 1 and the violation endangers human life commits a felony of the 1st degree, punishable as provided in section 775.082, 775.083, or section 775.084. Now I'm going to stop before I move on to 3 here. Some of these USB devices have gotten loose in hospitals, and a lot of you guys know IT guys that will freely tell you this. Yeah, we've been finding some of this shit. It's usually caused by somebody brought a device by home, unknowing, not knowing that it had been compromised, or it's caused by the hospital put in a new router, say brand new Cisco or older Cisco, or anyway, something was on that connection that wasn't there an hour before, and that just seems to raise some flags. And now that, the IT guys at the hospitals can tell you that it takes a separate certification to handle a hospital network, because that falls under the HIPAA Act. And that's a whole separate set of laws. But I figured I'd stop on that one and put some emphasis there, because that's an easy one, and a 1st degree felony is generally undeniably extraditable. Okay, so now let's move on down to 3. Whoever willfully, knowingly, and without authorization modifies equipment or supplies used or intended to be used in a computer system, or a computer network commits a misdemeanor of the 1st degree, punishable, 1st degree misdemeanor, big deal. That gets you a year in jail. 4A, in addition to any other civil remedies, if the owner or leasee of the computer system, network, computer program, computer equipment, or computer supplies, or computer data may bring civil action against any person convicted under this section for compensatory damages. Okay, so now down on the misdemeanors, there's no extradition. It's the felony ones that you got to focus on. And I happen to know that while I firmly believe there's a snowball's chance in hell of, I'm not going to read the rest of the, I gave you the title and the statute, and it's Florida laws from 2012. You can read it yourself, but I happen to know that some of you guys in Anonymous are not only working within and for the government, but you seem to be on Anonymous's side, on the side of the people, thank God. I happen to know at least one of you is a sitting judge, unfortunately at a very low level, but and another, several, are either prosecuting attorneys or working in prosecuting attorneys' offices. Yet I still have doubts that we'd ever find a prosecutor willing to pursue it this way. If you can prove where it came from and you can narrow it down to a building or a facility, I mean, some of you guys might be a shitload better than I am and be able to narrow it to a physical desk and prove that it's that desk. But like I say, It has to be done legally. If you have to break laws to get this information, to get in front of the prosecutor, then it's invalid in court if it's unlawfully obtained, even though you're a civilian. I mean, you'd think, yeah, okay, we don't have to follow the same rules and procedures as law enforcement. Bullshit. Because that's the precedent they're going to use right against you and get it shot down first round. We all know it. Then you got to go back, take it back on appeal, blah, 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 bullshit, 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 and it never goes anywhere. It'll just get denied. Well, first one shot it down, we agreed with them. Fuck you. That's how it goes. Like I said, it's a thought. I'm not saying it's a good one. And at the state and county levels, in theory, it would be possible to pursue actions against NSA employees violating these laws. Now, at that point, they would either have to provide the warrant that they had to access that network, and in Florida, a John Doe warrant's no good. And we know damn well that a warrant for a hospital or a warrant for a gun dealer, yeah, that might go through. But we know for a fact that a warrant for a hospital would probably be invalid if it covered the entire fucking hospital. Or a warrant for an entire town, or an entire airport. Yeah, it's getting that bad, boys and girls. And technically, now most of the information that the NSA gathers, you know, nobody worries about the shit that we've all left publicly exposed anyway. I mean, some of y'all might, I don't, fuck. In fact, I got all my shit set for wide open public. If they want to look, let them look. But, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I've seen recently, I've done some really deep studying ever since I found some supposedly secure phones that weren't so secure. Got a General Dynamics smartphone over there. Every word on that motherfucker goes a second place it ain't supposed to. Every picture on that motherfucker goes to a second IP range that it's not supposed to. Consistently. That sumbitch going in the trash in the morning. Sunday today, I couldn't get another one today. And the next one will be thoroughly checked before I accept it. We've all seen retail off the fucking shelf. These little SD cards. And now I know the difference when I go and I buy an SD card that is just an SD card, and I know when I buy one that's Wi-Fi enabled. But we've all run across these little SD cards. They're sending out around 1900 megahertz, which isn't normal Wi-Fi. Actually, that's closer to one of the cellular bands. But they're built on the same principle as those little Wi-Fi SD cards. In other words, only you don't know that that extra feature is built in there with these. Because all they do is install them as a regular fucking flash drive. We've all run into little USB dingle adapters, you know, that to where you can fit them to your camera. It changes the end from one to the other, and then, well, that cable that comes with it, you've seen those with chips in them. Where there ain't supposed to be no chips, ain't supposed to be nothing but fucking wire in that cable. Retail. Off the fucking shelf Best Buy. You know, and quite frankly, if somebody's doing anything math intensive, and they've got any kind of a virus or malware or Trojan on your network, or on your individual computer, well, that's sucking up CPU resources, stealing a few cycles from you. It's damage right there. Fuck, I let that program run for a year. They cost me 3 days. I charge $1,500 an hour. That's over the $5,000 right there. Do that however you want. You know what I mean. Quite frankly, I think all of these viruses and Trojans and spyware, malware, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that the NSA has been putting out, that has been messing with people's computers, should be the NSA should be the ones paying the IT guys to get rid of it instead of the person who owns the machine. They shouldn't have to pay shit. They should not have to pay one goddamn penny. In fact, the NSA should come down, replace their machine and everything on it with a 100% clean machine. Brand new and all their data preserved. And the NSA boys leaving with nothing, bare naked, out the fucking door so you know they ain't got nothing off your computer on them. But I'm a little bit extreme on my opinion there. But you know, I'm illustrating. That's my feelings on it. Them motherfuckers, you know, they're costing people a lot of money. They're costing people peace of mind. I mean, I've mentioned in other videos before where it's been traced that family members of NSA employees are holding an inordinate number of patents right now. Makes one wonder. I've mentioned before that, you know, they're scanning fucking what the fuck are they finding out scanning a PlayStation? You know, let's see. I pay extra for the games where I get to kill the police. Fuck, I play the other side too. I play it as police because I like fucking up the racers too. I mean, I like playing the game both ways. I paid the extra 30 or 40 bucks to get Need for Speed Rivals ahead of time because I had already beat fucking Underground and Most Wanted and every damn thing else that Need for Speed's ever put out. Fuck, I'm DA Wino 6260 on PlayStation Network, and you can see which ones I've got right now, and I've got Need for Speed dating all the way back to PlayStation 1. I've also got Road Rash, and you know, pretty much if I can drive, shoot, or fly and shoot, I'm good. I like playing that shit. You know, all this Call of Duty shit, fuck that. And no, I'm not anti-law enforcement. They won't let us do that shit on the streets in real life. And I think it's kind of cool that they got a fucking video game where, you know, oh man, yeah, wow, get even for a day. But, or you can play the cop and, oh fuck, I busted all 4 of them goddamn racers. Ha ha, I got that motherfucker with the EMP. You ain't never seen an old motherfucker that will make you laugh playing a video game like you've seen when I'm sitting here playing fucking some Need for Speed. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a Carmageddon fan. I'm into all that shit. What the hell are they finding out off my goddamn PlayStation? But I watch mostly comedy, play a few racing games. What are they finding out off of an 11-year-old's Xbox? That he's doesn't have any money and he's playing the free games and borrowing games from his friends? Oh, wait a minute, you can't do that with Xbox anymore. It's alright. I never liked Xbox anyway. And yes, I've had several. So anyway, I've gotten off on a whole nother rant here, but I mean, quite frankly, I don't feel if I do anything online financially in this day and age, I go buy these little green dot prepaid credit cards because I have no trust in if the NSA is willing to violate my constitutional right privacy to be secure, to feel secure in my person and or being, And you know, it's really a violation of your right to liberty too, because part of liberty means that you're able to do what you want, as long as you don't commit a crime. You're innocent until proven guilty. Only they're acting under the premise that the entire world is fucking guilty. Especially America and Americans. In this whole time that the NSA has been watching us, they haven't stopped one single fucking terrorist. Tell you what they have been doing though. We just had a case come up here within the past couple of weeks. Guy left here out of Florida. He was going to Delaware, New Hampshire. Do you remember where he was going? He got pulled over by the Maryland Transportation Authority or Transit Authority, whatever the fuck they call their state patrol up there. He wasn't going to Maryland, he was going to a state beyond it. And he got pulled over. Yeah, cops, MTA, Maryland Transport, we'll just call them fucking Maryland State Patrol, MTA, wanted his gun, which he didn't have with him. He had left it here in Florida. But you see, he had a concealed carry permit. That was his problem. Somehow, Maryland, they've got tag readers on their cars. Literally, their squad cars read your tags and run them. But somehow Maryland knew that he had a concealed carry permit, pulled his ass over for no other reason. Put his ass back in the squad car, went up there, harassed his wife. Where's his gun? I don't know, maybe in the glove box. I'm scared of the thing. I fucking don't know. Then they go back and they tell him, oh, your family says that you've got it with you. And he didn't. And again, you're innocent until proven guilty. So the stop itself was unlawful because that was the only reason they stopped him, was to get his gun. And we all know it. And we all also know that Maryland should not have been able to get that information from Florida that quickly. I mean, they should have been able to check out if his CCW was valid. He didn't present his CCW when pulled over. It's kind of messed up. I've had several other cases like that. Where, say, NSA boys have passed off this or that to law enforcement to get somebody busted. That's happened several times. And the law enforcement is trying to come up with how they got the information or whatever the fuck they got, and without making it look like it came from the NSA. But they've actually been busted a couple of times. Where most of y'all are thinking the CIA is the bad guy, believe it or not, the CIA seems to be on the side of the American people. Keywords, seems to be on the side of the American people, because the NSA and CIA have been rivals forever. The CIA and all that shadow government shit, yeah, okay. Leave that to the conspiracy theorists, because that has nothing to do with this exact topic. I mean, maybe in the broader spectrum of things it does, but in regards to this topic, the CIA seems to be on the side of the American people. Meaning, even their grunts think it's wrong. Their uppity-ups might not think it's wrong, but the grunts seem to be on the side of the American people. Homeland insecurity has devices that can read your cell phones. Those have been around for a long time. They're just now making the news. Hell, I think I mentioned them in a video a couple years ago. too much deeper into anything, but basically it's gotten so far out of hand that something does indeed have to be done. And some top secret court that no one has any oversight on, including, I mean, we got entire senators, congressmen, congresswomen. I don't know, is there a senatee for female senators? But, you know, y'all know what I mean. They can't get access to what this FISA court's up to. And quite frankly, they should have the highest clearances there are. If they made it to Congress, that means that the American people trust them to do the right thing. Period. I mean, like Pelosi, okay, I have no trust in her, but unfortunately she was elected in, so, you know, same thing. I have a me personally, I pose no threat to anyone. I'm just putting this idea out there for y'all because I like where your heart's at. And it's a legal avenue to pursue. I'm not saying it's a valid path. I'm not saying it won't hit a block brick road at the brick wall at a dead-end road. But there might be a path off to one side or the other. I might have thought of a couple of those paths and pursued them a little bit, but not really, if you follow what I'm saying. I didn't put my heart into pursuing them, but yeah, okay, there's a couple of other valid paths that are still 100% completely legal. There's a certain female Democrat who had some 8mm porn way back in the day. You find me a way around the kiddie porn laws, I'll find a place to download it. I know it's floating around on the deep web still. No, I haven't watched it on U.S. soil. Keywords on U.S. soil. Nor would I have it on any of my machines, because that shit will get you put in jail for real. You find me a way around that, and there's a way to embarrass one fucking candidate this fall. But then again, today's society, fuck, that'd probably be a bonus item. I'd probably get the bitch elected for sure. Look what it did for Paris Hilton. So anyway, we'll holler at y'all fuckers and fuckheads later. And remember, I ain't participating for either side. I'll watch the show. I'm retired. I intend to stay that way. I pose no threat to anyone. I'm lucky if I can walk to 50 feet from the shed to the house. Past couple of months I ain't been able to ride my motorcycle. That's why you ain't seen no videos on me working on motorcycles. I can't make it to the fucking shop. I can't drive myself anywhere. I can't even... It's been over a month since I've been able to walk the 9/10 of a mile down to the store at the end of the street. Without having to stop 3 or 4 times. Usually once on the way there and 2 or 3 times on the way back, and just wait for the pain to go away. It's that fucking bad these days. But I still think a lot, and that's given me a lot of time to dig into some of this stuff. And I mean, other ideas like finding everything bad about a candidate and making sure that it goes into your web promotion engines now and in the summer, to where it's front page every time somebody Googles that candidate or Bings that candidate. Make sure that nothing but the bad shit's right there on the front page, right? Of course, you're not going to beat them paid promotions, but you can at least get right there on the front page with them. A lot of us have proven that. And you can fill the second page and bury the third. As long as they're relevant links. I mean, don't be keyword spamming and all that, and link spamming. I mean, do it legit. You all know the rules. Don't break them. Again, that's a thought, but that's one that you better make goddamn sure that no matter what the hell it is that you're promoting as far as links, better make goddamn sure that it's verifiable, 100% undeniable. And you run into a problem with link spamming because the search engines will be going, wait a minute, 5 million people can't own the same goddamn site. And old tricks like Galaxy, you know, putting them on Galaxy.com or Backpage.com and letting the search engines pick them up by accident, that's not going to happen with that many links. So that's actually not the best idea in the world. It might be a good idea if 2 or 3 web promotion teams got on it and approached it from that angle, but if everybody at once did it, no, the search engines would catch it right away and the links would be just blocked. We all know that. But if it looked like it was legitimate link buildup, legitimate relevant content, yeah, it's not that hard to beat. A couple of years ago, that one video I did, the U.S. budget simplified so even a progressive Democrat could understand it. I never made it, never even tried to make it on just the word budget. But for a little while there, if you just typed in the U.S. budget, that phrase, or U.S. budget, bingo, there was one of my stupid videos. And to this day, it's still, I think you have to add simplified to it now. The U.S. budget simplified before it shows up. And on page 1, it'll be on page 2 on just U.S. budget simplified. Of course, I haven't done that in a few days. But I haven't worked that at all in a couple of years. I just did it back then because I could. We all know how to do these things. I ain't the only one, and a lot of y'all are a shitload better at it than I am. So, I mean, I've been retired 14 fucking years now, almost. Lack a month. And I mean, you know, I would much rather be working on my motorcycle. I've spent most of my retirement. I had Gulf Coast crustacean research. In other words, I've stayed sharp, but I haven't been on top, and I have no reason to be. You know, give me a couple of Futaba servos and some reason to fuck with something. I'm good. I'm happy. Go fuck around on the boat, play with them, go snorkel around in the intercoastal. And yeah, I don't like snorkeling the beaches because there's always people there and the fish are always chased away. And I like looking at them little teeny fish. I love working on my motorcycles. I love riding. I have thought in depth of many other ways to legally go after the NSA and legally go after those candidates who have already knowingly and or willingly violated their oaths to the Constitution, which is where my feelings are. Those are the ones that need to be out of there. If they don't believe in the Constitution of the United States of America, they should not be anywhere in the United States government. And that's from the lowest fucking floor sweeper to the president himself. And if there's anybody higher than the president, throw that motherfucker in there too. But it's several thoughts actually at this point. You know, I'm gonna cut off, but you get the idea. Maybe one of y'all will pursue it, maybe you won't. Maybe a bunch of y'all will pursue it. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not participating for either side. I'll watch the show. That's it. You send me a device that you want me to check out, and and you know how to get that to me, you better be somebody I know. Because, quite frankly, I'm retired and I hate computers these days. I hate fucking electronics in general. They're a necessary evil. Says he who just bought a fucking HP Superdome on eBay. It's fucked up, ain't it? I have several other ideas on ways to approach it legally, but I haven't done sufficient due diligence to really put them out there as being valid, because I haven't figured out a way to word it to where some script kiddie that didn't know what he was doing wouldn't fuck the whole project up. And at the same time, it borders so close. Well, several of those ideas border so close to the gray area that I would be scared to even try them, much less encourage anyone else to try them. Because unfortunately, there's precedent both ways, and it would be hard to prosecute or defend those. But I wouldn't want to be the one on the receiving end if someone got caught. You know, if I don't, I'll smoke a little weed, I'll ride my motorcycle a little bit too fast. That's it. That's all I do. That's all I'm willing to do. I'll leave all the high crimes and misdemeanors to the rest of y'all. That's not my thing. I don't encourage any criminal activities in any way, shape, form, nor fashion. Which is why I started digging into, you know what, there's got to be a legal way at the state levels to get this job done. I mean, here's the problem. Say we did find a prosecuting attorney here in Florida that you put all the information, you can prove it, all that traffic, you can prove that the virus that infected your machine came from that building. You can prove it came from a particular machine in that building. Charge everyone working in that building as accessories. Whatever you got to do, you know. Say, well, whether it was Washington, Maryland, Utah, New Mexico, whatever. But NSA's pumping a shitload of money into that state, that county, that city, you know what I mean? They lack that money. It'd probably be hard to get somebody extradited out of there. It'd be really nice if we could find one in Washington State that would just say, hey, looky here. Or in Utah that would say, hey, looky here, we're gonna nail that ass. Again, not very probable that it would happen, but it would be nice. We'll holler at y'all fuckers and fuckheads later. Hit that button. I can't even